It's kind of nice because Pete has a little bit more work ahead of him making Jeopardy, but he also knows that he's safe from any consequences.
It's that trade-off where I may not have the chance to win a spin, but I also know I don't have a chance to get fucked by something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good trade-off for me. Because I can tell you,
pick.
I can tell you from personal experience, getting fucked on this show is not fun. So.
Yeah, from consistent.
There's your bumper right there, guys.
Consistently.
Yeah, that's our slogan on our T-shirt. Getting fucked on this show is not fun.
There's the title of the episode.
Yeah, it's
episode 69. Getting fucked on this show.
I think it's interesting though. It's how I didn't even think about this last one. We didn't have a consequence, and it's the only time that Alex won.
Isn't that funny? I definitely thought about that, but
I also did too, which is why I brought it up.
Oh my god, I'm having a hard time deciding if this is stuff for a quick show or just post show.
So serendipitous. Well, welcome to the All Pop No Culture podcast. I'm your host, Opie, and I'm joined as always by Kevin.
Hey.
Alex.
Hi.
David.
Hello.
And Peter.
Good evening.
For this week. Peter's gone to a week-to-week basis with us. So we will see how it goes, see how far we can push him.
Contract negotiations.
Because now it's almost like we have to how far can we push him now? We have, there's the baseline. Now we can kind of scoot up against it and each week and see what we can do. This will be fun. If you're new to the podcast, I haven't done this in a couple of weeks, but if you're new to the podcast, we are a pop culture centered podcast talking primarily about television and movies. And each week we go through things that we may have watched throughout the week that we would recommend or recommend to avoid. So starting off this week, why don't we go with Alex? What have you watched that we should watch or avoid?
Sam and I finished up the Shadow and Bone show, so we kept going through and watched all the episodes, and my review hasn't really changed too much from last week. It's okay. It's not horrible. It's got some cool stuff. It's production wise, visually speaking, etc., very impressive, especially for a first season. Character development and some character choices were kind of annoying and stupid, and it was a little predictable, but it's still a pretty solid show altogether. And like I said last week, if you're just itching for some dark fantasy, it's not the worst choice. And that's pretty much it. As far as besides our franchises, like
that's all you watched?
Pretty much. I've been debating sending it to the group, but I just don't know that I want to. I've just fallen into a hole of just watching random The Raid and The Raid 2 fights on YouTube. Like I watched one and then it recommends like 1,000 to you, and there are like 1,000 fights in those movies, so I just keep watching one after the other. And I keep wanting to send them to the group because David's the only one who's witnessed these.
You got to watch those movies. Those movies are sick.
These fight opuses. Like you'll never look at fight movies the same again after watching these movies. But I'm like, I don't want to send anything because I don't want to spoil anything. Like the fights are so good. I would want you to see them in context. But I've come close. I actually pasted a link into the group and I was like, no. And I deleted it. I was like, no, just watch them. Just fucking watch The Raid and The Raid 2. They're so good. That's about it.
I'm like you as far as the YouTube hole goes.
Yeah.
I end up watching right now because I'm getting back into playing guitar. I'm on my list is all recommended of like little tutorials or live versions of stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to learn stuff. So where I'm not watching any new, television or anything, just all YouTube.
Yeah, that's YouTube's dangerous, man. Like you watch one thing and it's like, well, it just has your week like lined up right afterward. Like, here you go. you're busy now forever. I'm like, all right, well, I guess so.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I was wondering what I was doing this week.
Yeah, the YouTube hole is. I'm constantly in there. I just find something.
Well, hopefully this week you can find your way out and watch something interesting.
What's the best one you found your way into? Like you've fallen into, like. Oh
God, the raid fight ones is pretty up there, to be honest.
Other than that,
it's just I mean, I watch a lot of kind of similar to Opie. I watch a lot of metal, either guitar players or people who react to songs or cover songs or other things like that. So I've been watching a lot really of deep hole
reaction videos. I never thought that would be something I would even care to watch, but there's a few specific ones that I just watch just to, I don't know, because I enjoy watching people generally laugh at things, and so if I know what they're watching is hilarious, it's almost like sitting around with friends, watching them, watching for the first time. So
100%, yeah, I'm the same way.
And so, I mean, I've seen, like, I could probably do every bit of Bill Burr's stand up from all the fucking, which is hilarious because these reaction videos, usually they're within the last few months, and it's like people are catching on to some of the stuff that already been aware of forever. And then, and so it's just, so I'm out of that hole bit for now, but yeah, it's always there.
Have you seen the two Burr reaction videos, like the two people, the old ladies reacting to his thing in Philly where he melted down?
No, only because the Philly rant, I think it's funny, it's impressive, but that's not one I listen to over and over because it's just so I don't really care for that one.
Yeah, if you go on my YouTube, it's mostly like metal guitarist and or metal videos, video game shit, Graham Norton clips, and now like a bunch of fight movies. And you know what started it is I went on and I just for vindication, I went on to YouTube and I looked up my favorite fight from the 95 Mortal Kombat, which is Liu Kang versus Reptile. Because I was like, I remember in my mind that fight was actually really good. And I'm like, but I have a new lens now, like between the new movie and the raid and everything. And I watched that and I was like, this is actually still pretty okay, especially for the time. I was like, they do some impressive shit, and they hit each other legitimately a couple times. It looks pretty convincing.
First Mortal Kombat movie?
The first one, yeah, where Liu Kang fights Reptile.
I don't remember Reptile being in there.
He's almost like a secret, kind of like he is in the game. Like Sub-Zero and Scorpion are featured heavily. He's like just a lizard, and then he like spies on them. He cloaks and spies on them, kind of like the new movie. But then Liu Kang like grabs him and like throws him across the room, and he gets like thrown into like the statue, and then it like turns into Green Ninja Reptile, and they go at it. It's not part of the tournament. It's like it's just like a fight in Outworld, and it's still actually pretty impressive, like the actual fight itself. And I was like, it was just for my personal vindication that to see like, were the fights that much better in the new one? And they're not. They're really not much better in the new one. So yeah, and then that led into like, oh, you like fight clips? Here's the whole movie of the raid, because that's all you'll ever need. And I was like, you're right. And then I just fell into that hole. So, and then it's like, you done with the raid? Here's all the raid 2 clips. And I was just like, fucking A, here we go. So that was a lot of my week. And it should hopefully be some of yours in the upcoming future.
Sounds like it's faster just to watch the movies themselves.
Just watch the movies, for sure. Yeah, because there actually is a plot, not just punching and kicking. There's a lot of punching and kicking, but there's like a real plot, unlike Mortal Kombat,
which I didn't see. So, all right, well then, moving on to Kevin out there on the East Coast.
Yeah. So we did a little pre-show talk about anime, and that reminded me that I actually did watch. Or started to watch the new Dota anime on Netflix, based on the video game series, which I have not played. But Troy Baker's one of the voice actors in it, so
of course he is.
For the sake of right, because the dude's fucking everywhere. And so I figured I'd give it a go, and it's pretty solid as far as modern anime goes. The voice acting's all good. It was all done in English, like it was made for Netflix. So all the voice acting lines up. It doesn't feel kind of off like it sometimes can.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, I mean, it's solid. It's kind of cool because I don't know what I'm supposed to know. So it's all new. Like if there's a backstory that is like giving things away, I don't know it, anything like that. So, it's solid. It's an entertaining show. They're longer episodes. They're not just like quick, short, 25-minute episodes. And it is a very adult series. There's lots of death and blood and swearing. So, no anime nookie yet, but we'll not. Maybe we'll get there.
Yeah.
But
there's a site for that. You can go to the site.
There's a few sites for that.
Nope. As soon as you go to a site for it, you've got a problem. It's just in the movie you're watching, you're fine. But as soon as you go to the site for it,
I didn't even know this was in here. It's
yeah. I thought I typed YouTube.
Yeah.
You only need to watch Uraketsu Doji, Legend of the Overfiend.
If it's in something you're watching and you just rewind a few times, that's fine because you were watching different. The movie.
You're like, I missed the story plot, right? What did they say?
So these shows are like longer than what we're used to, 3 minutes 22 seconds.
Right. There's no banners at the bottom advertising for girlfriends and fleshlights.
Wow. All right. Well, I guess I'll watch it then.
There's been a really kind of substantial explosion of video game adapted animes on Netflix specifically. Like after Castlevania did so well, that was like the first big one that blew up. And there's been like 4 or 5 at this point, because I didn't watch Castlevania, but I did watch I watched Dragon's Dogma because that's a game that I played.
I've been meaning to watch that one. Was that good?
Castlevania was sick.
I've heard nothing but good things about Castlevania. I do want to watch it.
It's really, really good. If you're a fan of the games,
they're all animated. Yeah. It's this like revolution of like anime style. But like you said, Kevin, like I think a lot of them are made stateside, and so like specifically for Netflix, and so you don't have that weird misalignment of voice and like mouth movement, and there's no awkward like when they have to adapt Japanese to English and like a guy stops talking for a second, so in the middle of a sentence that wouldn't have a break, he just breaks for a second and then continues his sentence. Like there's none of that bullshit. So yeah, I really enjoyed Dragon's Dogma. I've heard Castlevania is fucking awesome. There's a new one. This one I don't think is based off a video game. It's about like a black samurai that just came out, and I can't remember.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not Afro Samurai, but it's
it's. I think it's based off like a real guy, like historically, like a man.
Oh, really?
I think it has like a historical slant to it. It's obviously very, fictionalized and fantasized, but
the anime talk drove Opie away.
Yeah, because there are real people from history in there that I know the names of just through random transmedia throughout my life, that I was like, oh, that's a real person. So I figure it's something to do with real life.
Did you play the Dragon's Dogma game?
I did, which is why I watched.
And did you enjoy it?
Oh, I enjoyed that game very much. I played it for an embarrassing amount of hours, as I do with most games. So, yeah.
So, speaking of video games, it's one of the reasons that I didn't watch anything this week. From GameFly, I got Resident Evil 3. So
the remake?
That. Yeah,
it's a good one.
So it looks real good, but it's short. But
it is short. It's meant for multiple playthroughs, though. Is the thing.
Yeah. A lot of those are, but I'm not that guy. I got the story, and I've never played the Resident Evil game. So I started, obviously I started at 1 with the first remake or not remake, but remaster for the PlayStation. Played that one, then got 2, obviously, and then now 3, and I've played 0.
Okay.
So at some point I'll play 4, but I've got Assassin's Creed coming this week, so
I think
who knows if I'll ever watch TV again.
Yeah. They're remaking 4 apparently, so just wait on that.
I think they already did, didn't they?
No.
Oh, well, maybe I'll wait a little bit. But then the other thing that I watched this week on Peacock, which is the NBC streaming service, they dropped a new show called Rutherford Falls, starring Ed Helms.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer.
It is very much a Parks and Recreation type show. It's not quite as it's not like in that Parks and Rec / Office tone where there's like interviews and stuff, or where the characters are talking to the camera.
Cutaways.
What's that? Yeah. But it is about you remember in Parks and Rec they always had the mural of the Indians and Native Americans. And they always talked about the Native Americans and like how fucked up like the town was with them. This is like it's a different town and a different set of Native Americans, but it's the same idea, but it's more about that than it is about the town itself. So Ed Helms plays this guy whose last name is Rutherford. So like his family is, is the family the town's named after. Yeah. And he's got this like best friend. There's this woman that he's really good friends with. And she's Native American and she's trying to open up at her casino on her reservation. She's trying to open up a cultural center. And it's just all about how Ed Helms kind of, he's a nice guy. He's not quite like Ted Lasso nice guy, but he's a nice guy. Like he's even trying to help her promote her stuff to her tribe. But ultimately
Ed Helms is playing a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's odd.
Yeah.
So going against type. All right.
Yep. And he comes to find out that, even though he thinks that he loves his family and loves his town, he comes to find out that some of the things that he thinks he knows about the history are not accurate, and that his family might have been a little shitty and taken a lot of shit from these people. Because one of the things that they have is like this town charter that was signed by the local tribe and then his family as they took over the place, and it sounded super like the way that it's written, everything was mutual, everybody's happy with it, and he comes to find out that maybe that's not true. And
Alex, you're still on camera.
Oh, I know.
Okay. You can get a little kitty all over your face. Maybe
is this a primetime drama?
Mm-mm. It is a comedy. Okay. It's not as light as Parks and Rec, but it's definitely still a comedy. And it's funny that I say not light because like physically the lighting feels a little too dark. Like it's like they should have brought in just a little more lighting for the show itself, which is really weird. Jesus Christ, Alex, you're getting eaten alive.
Yeah, she's an attention whore.
Yeah.
Ow, fucker.
Well, I'm not, and that's all I watched. So, yeah. So, I just didn't watch too much this week, but I'll keep going on.
Cat was holding you like you owed it money.
It's like, what the fuck, punk? I told you last week.
You've been dodging me.
Yeah.
You didn't think I'd get out of that cage, did you?
After the show. I'm sorry. Yeah. After the show. But that's everything I watched pretty much. Yeah.
All right, then over to David. How about you, sir?
I watched a bunch of things that everybody else has already watched. So
awesome.
Nice.
I watched the first episodes of The Nevers, and it was pretty cool. We're gonna watch more, but it gets
better after the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, we were engaged with the first episode and ready to move on, but it's just something that I'm watching with my daughter and my wife, and so all three of us at home at the same time is not, necessarily the easiest thing. And it usually happens at like 11 o'clock at night. So you're like, okay, well, maybe this isn't the show for right now, but we're gonna watch more of it. So I, would say I enjoyed the first episode, and it was intriguing, and it was pretty cool. We watched the second episode of Mayor of Easttown.
And, we did too.
The first episode was like kind of meh most of the way through, and then you get to the end, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm in." And
that's
then
funny.
The second episode. What was that?
So that's how I felt about the Nevers. Like I wasn't into the first episode, and then right at the end, I was like, "Oh, all right,
like, okay, I got this." And but the second episode of Mayor of Easttown was phenomenal. And then we realized that was all that had been released, and we were pissed.
Yeah,
because it hooked you fast. And so
it does.
I'm really excited to see where it goes. I recommended it to some other friends who are also super, super excited to see where it goes. So
yeah, I feel like the those kind of crime dramas that have been popular with, like, you know, what is the one with Jason Bateman?
Ozark?
No, well, no, not that's the series. No, not that series. No, it was a movie. It was like a or no, it's a series on where he played like a guy who got
The
arrested
Outsider?
for The Outsider. Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, that's a Stephen
crime
King
drama.
book.
Yeah.
Just, you know, True Detective. You know, all those kind of same kind of setup, really. You know, someone, you know.
Yeah, but this one, like Outsider and True Detective, those both have kind of like supernatural aspects to it, and I'm not getting any sort of ring in this show of any sort of supernatural. It's just a small shitty town in Philadelphia
where everybody knows everybody.
Yeah,
that's what you're really starting to find out.
And everybody knows everybody's like history. It's not like, you know, like, oh yeah, I know who that Pete guy is. It's like, oh hey Pete, remember in the 4th grade when you vomited into that kid's pool, right? Like they know your history like that far back, like everybody in town. So just to be clear, I don't know if Pete did vomit into someone's pool in the 4th grade.
He likely did.
May have.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, possible.
So we're excited. I honestly have no idea when they release new episodes of this show, though. So
I think it might be Sunday nights. Yeah.
Is it Sunday nights? Well, cool. Then
it's probably at 8. It's either 8 or 10 because 9 is 9 is the Nevers.
The Nevers. Yeah. Well, we'll be watching. We got to work to catch up to that one, so we're still a little behind. And then
there's only 3 episodes so far. So
yeah. And then we just got out of the theater from seeing Raya and the Last Dragon. So we went and saw it on the big screen, which, if you're not adverse to movie theaters, is how I recommend you watch this movie because it is fucking pretty. It is really, really pretty. And I know it would look good on my TV, but it's not going to look as good as it did on that big screen. It was a cool movie. I went into it knowing very little. I feel like when Pete did his review, he was very respectful and didn't kind of give anything away. So I didn't know what happened in the film at all. And I didn't even know roughly what the plot was, and enjoyed it a ton because of all of that. So yeah.
I had no idea Pete saw it.
Yeah.
No, we talked about it on the show.
He talked about it.
I do remember it now. Yeah.
No idea.
So yeah, I like Pete. I would say see it.
It's really good.
It's good for me. Aquafina was a little too Aquafina. I would like to have had her take it back about 50%.
That's pretty much always the case.
If you don't like Aquafina, a lot of this movie will start to grate on you a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm worried about her and
she still
Shang-Chi.
plays with me. Yeah,
I am too. But I'm super pumped for that movie, though. The more trailers more times I watch the trailer, the more times I want to see that movie.
Yeah.
And then finally, I watched the American Pie movies.
Why?
Well, he's been watching them, right? So you finished up.
But just
so I watched.
Does that?
I watched 2, and my review is that I disagree with Alex. I don't think it's a better film,
which is what I thought you would say.
I think that I think the pacing went in the opposite direction. I thought there were parts where it really bogged down and didn't flow as properly.
I guess for me, it was more, the pacing is horrible in almost all of them. We'll talk about, did you watch Reunion as well? You did, right?
I did.
Well, we'll talk about that tonight, but the pacing was pretty bad across the board. The thing that I felt was the stronger aspect of 2 was the character development. I thought that people actually moved forward.
Yes.
Like Jim and Michelle's relationship and stuff like that. So that was more what I
that's the whole point of that movie, is to propel forward Jim and Michelle's relationship.
Yeah.
So that I had fun with it. We watched it just kind of in playing. My daughter has not watched a single one of them, but every single time we watch one, she walks out and goes, God, the soundtracks in these movies is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they are. They really are. They hold up. They are good. They picked good songs. And so, you know, she's like, I don't want to watch them, but I'm glad you're watching them because I get to listen from like the other room. And so we watched that one, and then I watched Wedding by myself in the garage, and that was probably the best way to watch it because that movie was terrible.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's
it is
really
a
bad.
Serious low point. Stifler is the worst part and the best part of that film at the same time. Right? It's like this weird conundrum where some parts you're like, oh, I'm really liking this. And then other parts you're like, God damn.
He just goes too over the top and they beat his jokes to death.
Yes. And the stuff with Jim, like, why does this stuff always happen to me? Like, who shaves their pubes and then dumps them out a window? Like, that's ridiculous. And then of course there's a fan that sucks it into and blows it all over a cake. You were just like, all of that was so ridiculous. And then I love that they figured out right away what happened. Like,
he's just in the window still, like shaking out the towel. And they're like, dude.
So would you have thought, oh yeah, clearly the pubic hair came from that fan over there. And like,
my question on that is, how long had it been since he tidied up? Because there was a lot of hair.
Yeah. Like, well, I think that's a running joke, and they nail that joke actually rather nicely for me in Reunion. We'll talk about that part later. But Wedding is not good. I watched the extended cut, or like the unrated version, because that's the version that I have. And the scene with the bachelor party scene goes on forever. Just like every stupid little bit that they shot, as an improv to see if it worked, like they just slid it all in. And that scene was a little cringy to begin with, and then it just like stretched to like infinity, and it was like, oh. I will say though that for me, the guy that played Bear, the gay guy that
he was great.
He was great.
He was really great.
Every time he was on screen, it was fantastic. And he was on a TV show that my daughter watched when she was a little kid called Good Luck Charlie, and he played the dad of the the main characters of that show. So it was really funny to watch him play this character and just kill it and own the movie. He's the best part of the entire film.
He was really fun.
Those are my first two American Pie reviews, and I will save my injunction for later when
the person that had to watch these movies talks about it.
Yes, it was required to.
Yeah,
I was inspired by Alex's suffering to join him.
Why couldn't you have done that on the Nightmare films?
I was gonna say, I didn't know she's jumping in on the Roger Moores with Pete there.
Yeah, I needed someone to
need some support there.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like you did. I feel like Opie had them memorized, so there was no need for another person to drag those reviews out longer.
That's fair. All right, and then I'm still on the. Me and the wife are still going through Dexter. We just finished season 4. And then I don't know if you guys saw, there's a teaser trailer that came out.
Yeah, I popped that in the group.
So that's right. And so so I showed the wife that, and so I don't know. It comes out this fall, so we definitely have enough time to get through the next 4 seasons. But now that shows are starting to come back, it may slow things, like because like same with Dave. The Mayor of Easttown, we're watching that. So we just watched that the other night, the second episode. And then this week, and a couple days ago, Handmaid's Tale came back.
Oh,
and
that's right.
They dropped 3 episodes. And so we only got a chance to watch the first one tonight, but it's been a little bit since that's been out. So, but, I know, July Ted Lasso's coming out, and before then, we got the Disney stuff, and so
Mythic Quest is this week too.
Oh yeah, so plenty of new stuff coming for sure. But I'm also making my way through Arrested Development. Man, I don't know how they didn't just win everything every year that they were on, especially Tony Hale. I mean, I don't know. He must have just had a blast playing that character, man.
I loved Tony Hale as Buster, but I got to be honest, I liked him better in Veep. I thought his character in Veep was phenomenal.
Well, yeah,
funny.
I agree. I think it's like a more refined almost. There's a lot of similarities.
They kind of took Buster and dialed him back to like 8 from 11.
Yeah,
and then it really worked. Buster for me was always a little much. I liked all the other characters.
But just some of the scenes is just very funny. Yeah. So watching that, and then again with the YouTube videos as well, going down those, and that's about it for me.
What season of Dexter are you guys in?
We just finished 4. So
was that
John Lithgow?
So that was the peak. You guys have peaked.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And she knows. Yeah, she knows that it's a steep drop.
This is I want your review from here on out. Like this is the deciding factor of whether or not I watched this show.
Well, I watched 3 episodes. God help me.
Because I know I liked it up to John Lithgow, but I remember being tortured from that point on.
Yeah.
And so I just want to know the level of the torture before I decide whether or not to.
I remember watching when I watched it the first time. I must have been like probably season 6, where I was like, I've come this far. I gotta finish this out, and
that was us too.
And so just and it just I don't remember much about it. There's a couple scenes here and there that I remember. I remember the first 4 much clearer.
Yeah.
That I, even not without this last watch through, but
those are the memorable ones.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with because we want to watch Sons of Anarchy. Same idea. That was great up until season 5, I think, and then that just fell off a cliff.
Oh.
After they killed Opie, coincidentally.
Spoilers.
A big dive.
Have you watched any of the Mayans?
We made it through maybe half of the first season, and we're extremely surprised to see that it was still on.
Yeah, I never I saw the trailers for it, and I saw the commercial, and I was like,
yeah.
And I get what you're trying to capture.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either. It just wasn't that interesting, and so, but we were seriously like, damn, they're like this 3rd or 4th season, something like that. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. I just saw a commercial for it the other day, and I was like, huh.
So I know there's definitely other shows that are coming back that I can't think of at the moment, but yeah, with there's gonna be plenty to see here. I can never just delete that YouTube app off my Apple TV. So
there's one show that I forgot to mention that I watched, and I don't think I've mentioned it yet. It's called Home Economics. It's the new Topher Grace sitcom.
Yeah.
We watched that too. Yeah, we watched
that
first episode.
There's 4 episodes right now. It's NBC or ABC, one of the two.
Yeah. He plays a writer.
Yeah, he's a writer. His brother is rich, and his sister is like a little hippie, and essentially broke. So that's kind of like this. While a lot of the stories revolve around the financial differences between the 3, it's really just a family show, and it's funny. Like, it's good. It's good to see.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. He's very Eric, like grown up Eric Foreman kind of, which is good. I mean, I thought that 70s show was at its best when he was on. As soon as he left, that's when that show should have ended.
But did that show continue when he wasn't on it? I didn't.
There was one more season, and it was not good.
No,
they brought in Seth Meyers' brother.
Brecken.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
To replace it, and not to replace the character, but to be a the
6th person.
Yeah, and it didn't work. It didn't work. And I mean, that show was already kind of.
It was long.
Had kind of outlived. Yeah.
Topher Grace had the right idea to get out when he did. The rest, everyone should have followed. I rewatched that show not too long ago, and it was pretty decent. It holds up pretty well. It's still very funny. That last season is rough.
Yeah. But yeah, home economics is solid. I would say that Topher Grace is probably the only name in it that I really recognize. His parents are character actors. That his mom was on SNL for a couple of seasons, I think. and
Shira Zameta's in it. She was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, the rich brother too.
Yeah,
he was a YouTube. That's where he came up, I guess.
Well, he did. There's a spoof documentary about vandalism. That was
American Vandal.
Yeah, American. Was that what it was?
Yeah,
is that what it was American?
About the spray painting of dicks on
dicks. Yeah,
he was the guy. He was in that.
For anyone who hasn't seen that first season of American Vandal is brilliant.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay. Brilliant.
But yeah, that he was the lead, or he is that guy. So that's where we saw him from. Oh, okay. And so he's playing a very kind of similar character from that. It's just kind of like the oblivious kind of attitude.
That's who he's in everything. I remember him from Modern Family. He had a 6-episode arc in the later seasons of that. And then he's also in King of Staten Island.
Yeah.
Which I remember. I mean, he played one of the firefighters. And that's just kind of the role he plays, is that, like, he's like really deep, but he seems like he's completely oblivious, but then all of a sudden he drops like a nugget of wisdom and you're like, oh, it's like that character.
Yeah, you got Nora Dunn. That's the other one that was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, and then there's like one of the girls was one of the main characters. Topher Grace's wife was one of the main characters on How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay, Carla Souza.
Yeah, that show's solid. I would definitely say to give that a watch if you're into sitcoms. If you're not, that is not for you. But
can you find it on Hulu, or is it on a specific...
Yes, that's where we're watching it.
Yeah, that's where we saw it.
Sounds good. A 30-minute comedy is fucking gold, man. Like, I've watched them all, like, to the point where they're memorized, and I need something new. Please, dear God, something new. So
please help. Oh no. Oh God.
You already saw Ted Lasso?
Yeah, we watched Ted Lasso through 2 times. Like, literally, like, if it's worth watching, we've seen it twice.
Did you watch Mythic Quest?
I have not. Well, okay, so
my
wife is not going to watch that show with us.
Why?
Just
whatever you think it is, it's not that. She should definitely watch it.
We need to keep watching. We watched the first episode, and I think she fell asleep.
I would start over.
Well, so she doesn't watch it.
That's true too. Yeah, you can watch it without her, but
okay.
Yeah, I would definitely say
I've been giving Wilfred a try again because I wanted that, and it hit a wall. I've stopped watching, and then my dogs bark on cue.
Yep. They're like, you said Wilfred?
What? I told you to turn that shit off.
That's my boy.
That's not a real dog.
Just go back and watch Frasier.
Representation matters, guys.
Yeah, has a little picket sign on his
taking
collar.
Our dog jobs. Oh well, we've derailed this one nicely.
All right, so
it's our
on to our franchise review. So a quick recap. Alex has the American Pie series, and he'll be reviewing the latest from that. Pete has the Predator series, and David has the James Bond. And David, you're spinning this week. You're done.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm spinning. I think Alex should be spinning too. Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
But I think Alex wants to go second, so he can possibly steal mine if necessary. Correct.
Yeah. Also correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna actually make you go first too, but you didn't watch Godfather 3, so.
Well, here's what's gonna happen. You'll Dave, you'll spin, Alex will steal it, and then you'll get Friday the 13th.
Or you'll spin and
opposed to Friday the 13th.
You'll spin and get something.
You are ridiculous.
Yeah.
There is something wrong with you.
You'll spin and get something pretty good, and I'll be like, well, it's better than some of the other shit, and I'll take it. And then you'll spin again and get something amazing.
Even better.
Dark Knight series.
Yeah, and I'll just be like, fuck.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. And then Opie will spin next week and get something even better.
Yeah, even the best.
Henry Cavill shirtless trilogy.
Oh,
yeah. Do you guys
what
have
this? Is this on the wheel?
He's a wait time out.
Well, to be fair, I don't know what.
What 3 movies? I want to add these.
Yeah. I don't know why they make that a trilogy. You can't get through 10 minutes without, just blowing your load and falling.
Yes,
That's fair.
Without being completely exhausted. Yeah.
I guess you could just watch Man of Steel and then the first season of The Witcher.
Yeah. Man of Steel in only in slow motion. Just put it half frame. Make it last.
When he's running off the beach.
So then
With the Baywatch theme song in the background.
Ding ding ding.
We have officially derailed. All right, Pete.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say this, but please save us. You had you're watching the Predator series, in which
Yes,
this is the third.
Yes. So technically, Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator Requiem came out before this, but I decided to just go on with just the Predator movies first, and then go back and watch those two as their own separate thing, because it's kind of
Are they not connected?
Not at all.
Really.
Okay.
Other than there's Predators in it,
they're connected to each
it.
other. Alien versus Predator are both connected to one another, but they're not connected with Predator as a whole.
I never watched Requiem, so I'm still kind of, I don't want to say looking forward to that, because I've heard
it's better than the other one.
I saw the first one
because it's actually rated R, unlike the first one.
Liking the first one, I didn't hate it. I don't remember why though.
It has its moments, but
yeah,
how are you going to take a franchise that has like 6 rated R movies between the two people and be like PG-13? That sounds right. That sounds right. It just neutered.
And the script they wound up. Well, we'll talk about that when I actually watch it.
Yeah.
I watched Predators. It was technically, the third one. Came out in 2010. It's good. It's enjoyable. It's fun. The first half or so, kind of they more or less almost recreate the kind of jungle scene aspect that you had in the first Predator, but it wasn't as good by a far stretch. I liked Adrian Brody to a degree. I didn't completely buy him as this special forces guy. It was a really weird character for him. It's
Topher Grace was in it too.
Yep.
Was he really?
But he made sense for what he was.
Yes.
Walter Goggins.
He was good. He was good.
Walter Goggins was in it.
Yep.
Goggins,
There's a lot of
Danny Trejo. Let me guess. Danny Trejo, did he have a machete?
No.
Did he use okay.
Did he have throwing knives?
No, he just had two.
It was like two Uzis.
Machine guns.
Did he have a shirt on?
Yes.
He did.
A full shirt, or were there holes so that you could see all the tattoos?
No,
I think it was open a little bit up top. Yeah, it was open a little bit up top.
This is one of Mahershala Ali's first movies, and each of them was good in their own way. There wasn't anything bad about it. It just wasn't that good. With the cast that you did have,
Fishburne's in it.
Fishburne, not to jump ahead, that was a complete waste of this cameo in that movie. So they go through in the beginning and blah blah blah, we're getting hunted, we run from the predators, we figure out what's going on, we've been transported to this planet, because the movie starts with Adrian Brody falling out of the sky, and then they all meet up together and found out they've all fallen out of the sky. And so you've got a doctor, Topher Grace, you've got 2 kind of special forces people with Alice Braga and Adrian Brody. Then you got Danny Trejo, the gangster, some Yakuza dude. Walter Goggins is sentenced to die for murder and rape and stuff. And then you've got some Spetsnaz Russian special forces dude there with a fucking minigun, right? So all these people were just dropped in, and they're, they figure out, oh, we're being hunted by these aliens. And then they're kind of hiding out, and all of a sudden they think they're getting attacked by another predator, and it's fucking Lawrence Fishburne wearing a predator mask, and he's been there for 10 years and somehow survived on this planet, but he's crazy. And it's this 5-minute section right in the middle of the movie, and he just turns on them and then gets blown up when the predators find them. And it was one of the things that just really takes you off in the movie. It's oh cool, Lawrence Fishburne, this is going to wind up being really neat. And then it's done and you're okay, well that was kind of a waste. And the best part of this movie to me was the fight scene between the Yakuza and one of the predators.
Yeah,
it was basically a sword fight, and that wound up being really cool, because it had they tried to make it feel like an old samurai movie, because they were fighting in thigh-high grass that was blowing in the wind, and they were making passes at each other. It was relatively well done for what it was and what they tried to do.
Yeah.
But overall, it was kind of disappointing. in a way, but it's still entertaining. It's
Yeah.
just like you had this cast and you had this franchise that you could do so much with, and everybody was good in it. It just all didn't connect the right way. And it does introduce the fact that there are kind of two classes of predators.
Mm-hmm.
That there's like these like this bigger, more powerful predator. I forget what they call it, and then like the smaller ones, which are the ones we've seen so far. And it's like this whole classist kind of thing. And I remember I've seen the next one, and I remember that one kind of carries over into that one a little bit. And so they're kind of introducing that. You know, if you like the first one and you watch the second one, you'll enjoy this one. It's more predators killing shit and fighting in the jungle. Like you kind of can't go wrong with it on one hand, but it's with the cast that they have, it's a little disappointing with what came out.
All right.
If you like the Predators, watch it.
With that whole cast system, is that like the prequel for Battlefield Earth?
I think you're the only one here who's seen that, big guy.
Nope, I've seen that a couple times actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he hasn't made time for Avatar.
No, I saw it once in the theater, and then once when it was on TV, just to make sure it really was as bad as I remember it being.
That was a heinous piece of film.
It was, especially if you liked the book to any degree whatsoever. The movie was, well, that's a whole fucking show in and of itself. Please, let's move on from the Predators.
All righty. Well, then I guess because Alex insisted, David will go next with Spectre.
That's right.
007. And then actually, for both you, David and Alex, do you guys have any franchises you're adding to the wheel this week?
I don't at the moment, but I'll think about it.
I would actually like to add, so a bunch of my friends have contacted me and they're all very disappointed that Alex doesn't have to watch the American Pie Presents films.
God, no.
That's
Those are
not
go-
So
part of
in
the
their honor,
series.
I think we should add those in. There's
It's
like
not part of the series.
5 of them. No, not for you, but their own spin on the wheel. They get their
Jesus Christ, you're really gonna do that?
Oh.
own.
Do they tie in
direct-
together?
Direct to video American Pie
So,
movies. Fucking 5
A
of
bunch
them.
of your friends are contacting you saying that.
They were saying that, yeah, it's disappointing that Alex doesn't have to watch.
Yeah.
It. So I think that we should.
People love hearing me get tortured.
Yeah, God.
Fuck.
I don't
Your
know.
friends,
I seem
man.
to
What the
think
fuck is that
A
about?
couple of them are pretty funny. I haven't seen any of them.
No.
No, I can't believe they're even there. And as you said, I'm wondering. I think Police Academy is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Are
is.
the vacation movies on there? National Lampoon's?
I think so. Yeah, I think Vacation's on there. All right. Well then, David, Spectre, take it away.
All right. So this is the second time that I've seen this film, and my opinion this time is that I really liked it. I don't know. I do know why I didn't like it the first time. There are 2 instances in this film where someone is quite literally 3 feet from an enormous explosion, and then they just fucking walk away from it. Right? Like, so this one does not start off with a chase. It's the first one that doesn't. But instead, Bond is tailing a guy, and he is listening to what the guy has to say, and then he realizes that they're gonna use some explosives to blow up a stadium full of people in Mexico City. So he decides to take them out. So he shoots them and inadvertently hits the bomb and like blows up 3 buildings. Like legitimately, the buildings are falling down in the middle of Mexico City. And the guy that he was tailing, who was quite literally standing 3 feet from a bomb that blew up 3 buildings, runs out of the bottom of the building somehow magically. And that took me away from it the first time. I knew it was going to happen this time, so I just like ran with it, and I was able to enjoy the rest of the film. He chases this guy through the middle of Dia de los Muertos celebration.
So it does start with a chase.
Yeah. Well, after like 10 minutes in after there's been a bunch of exposition and some explosions.
It's a delayed chase.
It's a delayed chase.
Yeah.
So he foot chases.
Well, it's also
it's actually
a much more
short.
visual opening. Much more visual opening with all the masks and stuff.
It's pretty cool as they're walking through the middle of this festival in Mexico City. And eventually they decide to bring a helicopter in to rescue the bad guy in the middle of this festival. It comes down low enough for him to climb up a ladder. And Bond is able to jump off of something and get in the helicopter as well. And they have a big helicopter fight. And we remembered commenting on how maneuverable the helicopter in the final episode of
Falcon
Soldier was. It was nothing compared to the maneuverability of this helicopter, which was literally doing loops and flying into space and other shit. Man, it was crazy. But ultimately, Bond wins and wins a helicopter, tosses the guy out, takes his ring, and we move on from there. That's the beginning of the film. Once you get past the hokey shit that was that, I thought the movie was really pretty good. So this is the second Sam Mendes film. He did Skyfall, and then he followed up with this one. And Skyfall was kind of interesting because it really didn't tie back to the previous two films. But it feels like Sam came in with the idea of finishing out Daniel Craig, because it feels like this should have been the last movie.
Yeah.
Finishing out Daniel Craig, and then at the same time giving the world kind of a more classic Bond. In this film, he is like the classic Bond. He's almost always in a tux for one reason or another, or he's shirtless on a beach somewhere. He has gadgets in this one, actual gadgets, which he has not really had in the previous films. In like Casino Royale, like they literally had like a defibrillator that was built into the car. Like that was the gadget level we were working with. In the second one, I think he had a tracking device that was quite literally like the size of a pager. It was enormous. In Skyfall, they do have the Aston Martin that has like the machine guns, a more classic Bond. And then that car makes it back into this one too. And it has the fun little like ejector seat. And
they kind of show some of that in the preview.
Yeah. And so you get more of this, like, you know, spy Bond, man with all the gadgets thing. This one, he's basically working off of he got a letter from M telling him to find this person. So now he's off the books because he's, you know, working kind of counter to what's happening. MI6 is being absorbed by MI5, and they're going to take the whole thing into a big computer, and that's how they're going to do it. The 00 program is going to be no more. They're going to kill it. The guy leading that whole program, the director of MI6, who goes by C, is the guy that played Moriarty in the Sherlock TV show with
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. So that same guy. So Bond is going off because he doesn't believe the computer shit that Moriarty does, and so he's doing it kind of off the books, and he's getting a little bit of help from Q. They put some smart blood in him so that they could track him, but then Q's, while able to track him, is not telling them where he's going. So it's very, very convenient for Bond. But basically, through all of his Bondness, he tracks down the head. He tracks down an old spy and convinces the spy to help him find the head bad guy who's been running this shadow government ring from the beginning. And you start to find out in this film that while Skyfall felt like a standalone, it wasn't. The villain from that was also part of this organization. And it's all being orchestrated by this one guy at the top. And so Bond finds a guy who's kind of the Bond villain that we've seen so far's level, and is you know, convincing him to help him find the guy on the top. So that guy is super scared, and he's literally living in the middle of nowhere by himself with no technology and no nothing. And so when Bond shows up, he's just like, okay, you're here to kill me. And Bond's like, no, I need you to help me find this guy. And he goes, okay, and basically tells him how to do it. Find my daughter. She can lead you to him. And then he takes Bond's own gun and blows his own head off. So Bond goes and finds the girl, like, of course, Bond does, and convinces her to help him. And they find the guy. And the guy is Christoph Waltz. And you also find out that the guy is Bond's brother. Why not?
Yeah. It's almost like a Dexter kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The ice truck killer.
It's like
Yep.
his adopted brother, or like he was adopted into the bad guy's family. Bond.
Yeah.
He had been orphaned when he was young. And then they died in an avalanche, and you find out that was caused by the brother. He hated James and hated that his dad loved James, and so he killed his dad and faked his own death, and then went off to become the big bad guy who has been torturing Bond all along. You get really great Bond villain monologues in this one. The Bond villain has a large fluffy white cat. I mean, there's some really lovely homage.
Oh, yeah.
The base is like this huge oasis, gorgeous thing in the middle of the desert, and that no one knows about. I mean, it's like it's dripping with all of this old throwback Bond stuff, which is really fun. And then Bond uses he escapes the bad guy who's monologuing this whole time by using the exploding watch. And literally, the watch is under this dude's like office chair, and somehow survives. Right? And it's enough that it causes a chain reaction for the entire Oasis facility to blow up. Like, it all blows up, and somehow this guy is able to survive. So that was explosion number 2. I also forgot to talk about Dave Bautista is like this fantastic old school Bond villain in the film. He's the grunt kind of like the Odd Job level.
Okay.
And he's got like silvered thumbnails that he uses to gouge out dudes' eyes. I mean, he's fantastic. He's really great in the film. He has a good death. But yeah, his whole character, the big, tall, grunty,
like a Jaws type.
Yeah, like a Jaws as well. It was really great. So yeah, I would say ultimately that all gets resolved, and Bond comes out on top, and he rides off into the sunset with the girl. And it looks like they might have something together because she was the daughter of an assassin, and he's essentially an assassin. So she's marrying her father, and that's kind of the end. And it looks like it should have been the end. I did watch the trailer for the new one that'll be coming out in November, and basically they somehow need Bond again, so he comes back out of retirement, has to work with Christoph Waltz, who was the bad guy in this one. But I liked it. I was really surprised. I thought it tied Skyfall in nicely with the others. I think it was the second best one of the 4.
Okay.
Which is not what I expected to be saying.
All right. Well, let's see here. So,
should we listen to Alex and then spin back to back, or do you want to spin after each review?
What do you guys want to do? Back to back?
Doesn't matter to me.
Well, let's at least add what you want to add to the wheel real quick before I forget.
Are you actually going to add the Presents movies?
Oh yeah,
fuck!
By popular demand, man.
Alex is going to get those tonight.
That's what
after he passes on what Alex picks.
And what is it called? American Pie Presents?
Yeah, just put American Pie Presents. We'll know what that means.
Unfortunately.
Oh man.
You see Alex right now thinking about just quitting the show. Like,
he's like, which do I want less?
Yeah.
Jason or more of this shit?
Man. All right. Well, then Alex, it's on to you, Mr. American Pie. This is the reunion? Was this the last one?
Yeah, American Pie, the reunion. which I mentioned last week was nearly a decade after the last movie.
Yeah.
It was 2003 for Wedding, and this one was 2012. And they even kind of joke about that in the movie. They're like, we missed our 10-year or whatever, or it got delayed or something. So now it's happening now. So I thought I was like, oh, it's kind of meta. American Pie, the reunion. I got to say, man, this is by far the best of these movies. Like,
Oh, really?
landslide. It's
Yes.
not
Oh.
even close.
Yes.
It's so much better than the rest of them. It actually feels like a movie. There's like a plot, there's good editing, there's forward momentum for all the characters. It's not like a quick 90 minutes. I think it's nearly 2 hours long. Like it is the final form, as you would say, of the American Pie movies. And unfortunately, in order to really get the camaraderie and some of the in jokes and other things, you do have to watch the other three before you see this one, or else it probably won't be as meaningful.
At least the first one.
At least the first one, but
Well,
I mean,
you would
they
think
all help.
so. At
they
least
all,
the first one.
They all help a little bit because in the first one, Jim and Michelle hook up and then she ditches him.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like you kind of
that
do
makes
need
sense,
their
yeah.
you need their love story. Maybe not Wedding. You might be able to skip that one and just
You probably
infer.
skip
I
Wedding.
just accept that they're married
Yeah,
now.
they
and
got
have
together.
kids.
They
Like,
got
yeah.
married eventually. Yeah, and it's like, but yeah, this movie I was enjoying it pretty much start to finish. It's still pretty awkward, but not nearly as awkward as the other ones. The jokes actually hit. Stifler is still pretty annoying, although he does have a few redeeming qualities in this one that I thought was nice. They have a lot of fun twists on where the characters ended up and how they end up finding each other and getting back together. If they do, not everybody does, which I think is kind of also nice. It's not like, oh, everyone who was in high school now magically finds each other again. Like some of them do and some of them don't, which I thought was kind of cool. But they all still like reconcile and be like, oh, it's really like a pretty solid movie. Tara Reid does not look like she has quite melted, although you can see it starting to happen. It's like kind of in her lips. It's like, oh, she got one too many shots there. But it's not too bad. She doesn't look too bad. Everyone actually looked really good.
She also just looked like tan leather. Like
she did look like an old volume from a dusty library. But but the movie was actually really enjoyable, and I don't know that I thought that was going to be the case.
Me neither.
I kind of went into it like, here we go. Finally, I'm done with this shit, and was totally captivated the entire time, which was incredibly surprising.
Well, we did say that it had an opportunity to be better based off the circumstances of when it was made and how they got everybody back and stuff.
Yeah.
So they had something to work with.
That was my hope after watching the first one, that as they progressed, like just the natural movement of time and how comedy changes would help some of them. It didn't help the second or the third one. It definitely helped this one. Like by far, they paid attention to what people enjoyed and they put a lot of that into this movie. It's still ridiculous. It's still way too horny for its own good. But it was really like I could see myself watching specifically this one again because it was really a fun time.
That I just always felt like it was fun. That the original one for me was fun just for when it came out and what it was at the moment. And then the next two just kind of lacked all that. And then this one came back and it was just fun again because you you bought into these characters again.
Yeah. And
whereas the second two just
and they actually did feel like their characters still, but just evolved versions of themselves. Like Michelle was still kind of quirky, but she's a mom now, so she's not as quirky, but she still has her moments. And like everyone just felt right. And it was kind of like, I didn't think that I had any emotional attachment to any of these characters because I haven't really liked any of the other three movies, but seeing them all together again and doing things together again and having some of the in jokes, I was like, I dig this. You know what I mean? Like it gave me feelings I definitely did not think it was going to give me. Like it was pretty touching at times. The jokes worked most of the time, I would say. Like I had a smile on my face most of the time watching this movie, which was shocking. So,
Shocking.
Well, after seeing those first three, I mean, again, they're no nightmare movies, but they were just kind of like,
or whatever you spend today.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, whatever. If I don't steal, I'm sure I'll spin and just fucking get reamed.
All right. Well,
there was a particularly great bit with Eugene Levy, the character who is
when he gets high.
Jim's mom passes away.
Yeah.
So he goes and they're trimming his eyebrows, to get him all done up to go out, and so he's looking away and you see this growing pile very similar to like the pubic hair pile, right? Just this enormous pile of hair. And then he turns around and his eyebrows are the exact
look exactly the same.
And he looks and he's super excited. He's like, oh my God, like, why didn't I do this 40 years ago? They're so streamlined. And it's just, the joke lands so well.
He was great in this. Eugene, the whole way through.
He actually gave me the best laugh I had in the entire series was in the third film. And it's Eugene Levy. And Jim's chatting with him and he's wondering whether he should marry Michelle because she's really the only girl he's ever been with.
Yeah.
And they start talking about Nadia and he goes, Dad, I mean, really, if you had a chance with Nadia, would you have turned it down? And just with absolute out of nowhere straight face, he goes, why, did she say something?
Yeah.
And
that was good.
So unexpected, but so perfect, Eugene Levy, that I literally burst out with an audible gasp laugh because it was so funny.
Well, it's an improv they kept, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna rework that and deliver it the same way.
He was great. Everyone was better essentially. Like everyone had evolved as actors. One of the people who I thought was the weakest through the whole series was Kevin. Like I just thought his acting was like so stiff, and I was you too, but no, the guy in the movie. No, he was.
Well, he's not a very good actor.
Right.
Anything he's always been like that.
But he was much better in this
movie
one.
like that.
Yeah, he was much better in this one. So I was pleasantly surprised about that. And they really did get back, I think, everyone. Some people were just quick cameos, like Nadia was in there, but she was a quick cameo.
But that joke landed really nice.
Oh, that was super good. Like, oh, I see you're much better at this now. Like,
but like the fact that like she had her own gym, like she comes in with her own pocket gym.
Yeah, because at the end, right before they walk out, Jim looks at him. He's like, he kind of gives that look, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
That was fun. What's her face shows up. The friend is Tara Reid's friend, the curly blonde.
Yeah, Natasha Lyonne's character.
Yeah, she's a lesbian now, and she has a funny scene. And just the delivery.
The MILF guy reunion.
Yep.
MILF. Yeah, that was good.
That's brilliant.
And then Shermanator.
The way they
Shermanator.
Yes, the Shermanator. The way they end the Stifler shitbrick.
The rivalry.
Is fantastic.
Yeah.
Really fun.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I never saw that one.
Yeah, I never saw it either. So.
I highly like. You probably don't really need to watch the first three if you generally remember what they're about. Like
I've seen the first two. I know. I don't know if I've seen
in the third one they get married. The end.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need to know. Like,
shit happens. That's not really that funny. They end up getting married.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
reunion was great.
David, I already added the extra square for you. Alex, do you have one? I looked. We don't have vacation on here, actually, Kevin.
That should definitely be on there.
I don't care to add that, so Kevin can add that next time he spins.
You son of a bitch.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Alex?
Nope.
All right. He just doesn't want to have vacation.
I just don't want it on there because I don't want it to land on that for me right now.
Okay.
Vacation movies?
All right.
I want something like cool. Like I had Nightmare, movies. Which is like the least cool thing.
Mom.
And then American Pie was fine. Like again, the first one's all right. The last one's pretty good.
Came up.
But I need something like cool. Like any alien.
Why did I change Siri to mom?
All right, so this is David's spin.
This is David's spin, but I remember I had to lower the.
Wait, hold on.
Light, I think.
Can you know what you can try doing? real quick. We'll just timestamp it. I can edit this out if it doesn't work. What if you just join the Zoom call on your phone and then share that screen, and then we'll just see the wheel going.
Wow, why don't you make this harder for me, you son of a bitch?
How is it harder? How is
for
it
you
harder?
For like 5 minutes. He's got to add another tile and cut it out and paste it. And
No,
do it.
because the fucking goddamn
The layout.
this is where I kill Pete. And I'm gonna fly to fucking
we have a layout for the video. It's not just this copied and pasted.
Yeah.
No,
I put a little.
it's-
I actually put work into it. So also,
It
fuck you
looks
for
good.
watching.
I've watched a couple episodes of it. Just
Yeah, I've seen the still frames of it. Oh yeah, you did. You put-
The older ones are don't have it, but in the last dozen or so, I think
I do remember. It's like our logo, and then our frames are
Mhm.
just in front. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I saw that in the still frame. Again, I haven't watched it, but you know.
I have no real Photoshop skills, so it's definitely a thing.
Do you not just have like a template where you can just like pop them in there?
Well, that's I made it that way, so I don't have a background that I can pop in. I'm sure there's a way to do that. I am a fucking Photoshop retard, so
Cool,
it's
cool,
not
cool, cool.
my-
How do I share my screen now on here?
you should be able to share it still.
Perfect instructions.
Yeah.
Their content.
How do I do this? You should be able to do that.
Then only the host can share in this meeting.
Okay, hold on. I can change that.
You know what? This is worth making a 6-person template.
You know
for.
what? I bet you. And how much you want to bet that right now I'm also listening to this bit in my car?
Right?
Nope. I'll remember to cut this out. I'll remember that we actually did this.
Uh-huh.
this
Honestly,
time.
this is part of the charm. It's part of the
Yeah,
charm.
this is
You know, you leave
how
it
the
in.
show gets
Cut to
made.
Tuesday
No.
afternoon. Fuck you guys again. I'm out.
No, that one I legit forgot. I don't know how I let the edit
Oh, here we
go
go.
on the thing where it went on for like 15 minutes at the end. I was
waiting
freaking
too.
out.
Like I kept like fast forwarding like 10
I
seconds.
did the
like,
same thing. I
is
was
there
like, wait,
anything
what
else?
did I put
Is there
here?
anything
Like,
else?
It's the fucking
And there
hidden
wasn't.
track.
And I actually I edited it and changed the file in iTunes, so it's now one without that 15 minutes at the end.
Okay. Oh. Here we go.
Oh,
You're
wow, look at
sharing your
this.
screen.
Damn, look how fancy.
All right, are we ready then?
Yeah,
Give us
let's see
a
this.
whirl.
Sure.
Let's see.
I'm going to poke my screen to see if I can't make this. Oh.
It
Hey, like I
closed.
made
It
It's-
crashed.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
Oh, it's so loud in my ears.
It is very loud. Excellent.
what is
Oh, I saw
what is
50
what is-
Shades of Grey.
I know. God, that would be amazing.
Oh, come on, Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Oh,
Alex is stealing that.
Oh, Alex
That's
likes
a
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to
Ooh.
Oh.
This is a conundrum for Alex. I might steal that.
Wow.
Well, here's the
I
thing. Here's the
like
thing.
these enough. I bought them, and I
Here-
hadn't watched them yet, just based on somebody's recommendation.
Here's the thing, David. Have you seen these 3 movies? Because this is
I have seen 1 and 2. I have not seen the third film.
see, the thing is, I want to be a homie, and I want him to see all of them because they're all fantastic.
I
wait,
want
now,
you to be a
is this-
homie
but-
too, and I want to see
Oh,
it backfire.
I am-
wait.
That's the thing.
this
I'm
just
so
Planet of the Apes.
concerned
Like
about what I'm
colossally.
gonna get.
What?
Wait.
Oh,
What?
man.
Hold on. Actually, what does this encompass? Are we talking about the
This
original
is the
60s
3
Planet of the
new.
Apes,
This
or
is the
just
3
the
new
ones?
Like I
Yeah.
put this on there, and I specifically
Okay.
said just the 3 new
Yeah.
ones. So this is like the Matt Reeves 2, and then whoever directed the first one.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
And you passed this up and hit Friday the 13th.
I'm gonna hit that or Twilight or 50 Shades or some
Oh, Twilight is on there.
bullshit because I know my luck, and that's the problem. Like I want to be a homie, but I've been trying to get Sam to watch these too for like years at this point, and she never has. So I'm just like,
Oh.
Well, now's your chance to tell David to just fuck off.
I like
You've been
David.
waiting so
I
many
like David.
episodes.
He's cool.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I'm
Uh,
gonna steal it.
Oh,
Oh, he's
Yeah.
stealing it.
it's the smart play.
Yeah, you
I'm
have
just
to.
concerned about
have
what
to.
else is gonna
Right.
happen. You're gonna
God, you
get
got
something
High School Musical on there too.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some bullshit on here.
Fast and Furious. Oh, there's
Fast
some
and
good
the
stuff.
Furious. There's
John
fucking
Wick
8 of
is
those.
on there.
There's some cool
Bourne.
stuff on it.
There is some
Really
good
cool stuff
stuff.
on here.
I would be stoked for Fast and the Furious.
Smokey
I
and
would
the
be okay with
Bandit.
Rocky. I haven't seen that in
I
forever.
like. He's got one on here. This is DCEU.
Yeah,
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
I'd like to pass on that one. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Sorry, homie. Time to
are we-
respin.
Yeah. Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah,
So-
let's do it.
all right. So
You can
Alex,
still
go-
watch them, and then we can talk about them. That's fine.
Hold on.
Yeah,
let me
apparently
take it
that's
out of
something
the,
David does.
No,
Yeah,
does Alex,
sometimes, yeah.
Now, is this just count as Alex's right now, or does Alex need to spin?
No, this is
Because
mine.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. This is no.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Like if I had spun and then I stole someone later, I'd still have the obligation of watching through what I had spun, and then whatever I stole would be
I got
next. So
what
since
you
I
got.
have
But-
nothing, this is next.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you know what that means is, Pete, you gotta organize another Jeopardy because that's how we get our prize. And go ahead and do a little fact checking this time. Just
I
double
think
check.
I might. I think I might.
Put Olivia Dukakis on there. All right. Are you ready, David? Again?
yeah, sure, why not?
Sorry,
All right, here we
dude.
go.
I'm just praying. not to
something
be
shitty.
Like that's
Come
the only
on,
one that I'm
something shitty.
that I'm like. I don't
David's been lucky so far. I want
He
to.
has been.
He
has
really
been.
does need to get a little bone.
I don't
here.
want to like wish bad shit on
Bacon?
somebody, but
Mission Impossible. Oh, I haven't seen any of the Paranormal Activity.
Oh, there you go. Paranormal Activity. There's
Okay.
like what, 4 or 5 of those?
7.
What?
Holy 7?
No, I don't know.
Are you-
I have no
Oh.
idea.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I have no idea at all.
Whole room bought that one.
Yeah.
No, no clue.
That was intense.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Well,
Well, there you go.
cool.
See,
Now
now
we know how
Kevin,
to
you
do
only have
that.
to create that tile, just the solo individual.
Well, that was good. All right.
And now I've
Okay.
used up my one boon
I
that I've ever
know.
had this
Yeah.
entire show. So there you go. Now I'm back to 0 again.
The next like 3 spins are like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. All shit
Star
that I'm
Wars.
like, ugh. No, Planet of the Apes is
No, I
phenomenal,
got
so
my
I'm
Planet
excited.
of the Apes. Yay.
Hey,
All right. Well,
Tell Sam I'll be
Well,
in
that-
touch.
don't do that again. I felt bad. Like not to be fair,
to be fair,
even if I didn't have those questions, I think I would have gotten first or second. Just
Oh yeah, no,
because
you would have.
these two fucked themselves on the last question, and I got a lot of the Friends and Star Wars shit right.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that bad, but I also do feel bad because that was just too much. Like
No, because I designed enough of those that there were like there were 2 that were guessed that they got. So there were.
I know.
You know, I tried to put them in there so that they weren't like literally shit only Alex should know.
Well, some of them were.
Yeah.
So there
Um,
really may be 7 Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh
think-
no.
No, I'm looking. 'cause there's like,
Oh
there's
no!
the first one, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, Paranormal Activity, the Ghost Dimension, and then it looks like they rebooted the whole thing again in 2020 with just Paranormal. So
Oh, nice.
Are they part though, or is it like American Pie Presents with those
No,
ones that have
it's
subtitles?
numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it says it's the 5th in 2014. Yeah.
Oh, they're a part of it then. Because I would be
Awesome.
like, I would feel generous enough to say like
That's
skip over the
fantastic.
2 in the middle and just watch the reboot. But
Yeah.
if they're part of it, you got to do it.
Get ready to watch
Yeah.
a lot of security cam footage.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, that
Yeah.
career as a security officer is really gonna. Yeah.
this
Oh,
will be
man.
interesting. I may be stuck in this one for a while.
Wow.
Well, it's about time. All yours are like nice, concise, like 3
You know,
movies, 3 movies, 3 movies.
This isn't fun
Yeah.
anymore. You know, this,
Yeah, he's like, I don't like this game. This game is stupid.
Yeah, he's like,
Welcome to the party, pal.
I'm off the show, guys. It's been fun.
Yeah. He's got to talk
What's
to the
that?
wife. and
Oh,
she
I
said
can't
it's
be on
just
the podcast anymore. Bye.
Yeah,
Yeah, right now. He just
After he
signs
added
off.
American Pie Presents.
yeah. That's his farewell gift to us.
He just
Also,
dropped a turd
I'm
on the
stuck in
doorstep
this one
and
for a
bailed.
while, so that time
Yeah.
is going to be
Yeah.
rolling
Yeah.
for a while.
You've had your fun. You've spun the wheel like 3 times. Now you just sit and watch for a little while.
Watchy like loves these and just devours them in like a
I know.
week.
He's like,
He's
oh
like,
my
those
God.
are so good.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Let me talk to you about white noise. And
All right. Well, man, this might be a record. We actually did get through a show in under 2 hours. So next week I might have more, more stuff might be coming up this week, or at least new episodes of some of these newer shows, get a little more insight onto what we're watching there. Maybe be able to escape the YouTube rabbit hole, but we'll see about that.
That's a good rabbit hole to be in. Real quick, because
yep.
I just want to make sure that we're fair to the listeners, those couple people out there. We did mention the good scenes and bad movies thing. Are we going to save that for another time?
Oh, forgot all about that.
We can save it. I was just saying, like, we should at least say what we're going to do about it.
We're only at about an hour 15.
Hour 15?
Yeah.
Really? Feels longer than that.
Doesn't it?
I guess it is that. Wow.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys. I know Kevin.
It's up to Kevin, like really. Kevin,
5 in the
yeah,
morning for you. So
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, let's take a quick break then, and then I guess we'll come back and talk about. We found an article online that goes through 21 of the 21 horrible movies with one good scene or something like that. So we'll be back with that after this.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Patter.
All right, let's get going.
Airball.
I only do that on purpose. All right.
I know.
I guess we're back. We're back now.
Oh.
We're back, and we're going to go through a BuzzFeed article that I found today entitled 21 Times Really Bad Movies Had One Really Good Scene. I didn't go through this entire list at the time that I found it. I thought I would save it for the show, but I did look at the first couple, and I haven't seen some of these movies, so if none of us have seen it, I guess we could probably just move on. But I know for a fact that 2 people have seen this first one. So, number 1 on this list is when Jennifer Hudson performed Memory in Cats. And what's interesting about this this list is it does give you like the clips and everything too, which I don't think we're gonna go through, but it gives us an option. So
That's all right.
Alex, since you did see it and hated it, and as did David, I mean, or anybody, but
at least he was intoxicated.
Rightfully so.
I mean, I could say that when I saw the stage show, this was the only song that I found any enjoyment out of.
That did not happen in the film. There was still no enjoyment.
Okay.
Yes, that's a correct assessment. It's a horrible movie from stem to stern, regardless of how good anything is about it, music included. You can't help but be disgusted because of the way that these people look.
Who will go on to
here
be
we
named
go.
champion?
What have you
I
done?
want to. Sorry, I want to see if it would work. And of course, there's an ad before every fucking video. There's probably an ad halfway through the clip. Let's see.
Why are we doing this?
You can see, look, her singing is fantastic, but look at the health on the screen.
Yeah, we're gonna get copyright smashed or whatever the fuck they call it.
No, we're not, because we are actually offering
Look,
this.
gross. Look, just look. Oh, God, fuck, I can't watch this again.
I haven't seen a butthole yet. I'm disappointed.
Well, no, because the butthole cut no longer exists, man. They claim
Please
that.
turn it off. Please. Yes, her voice is good. Oh, there's Judi Dench. Perfect. The good poster
right.
frame to end it on.
Look
there.
at how wide her shoulders are. Like,
Is that her
like-
shoulders? Holy fuck!
You guys don't understand.
All right, let's move on. We'll move on. Sorry to give you PTSD there, buddy.
But like my
All
heart
right.
started going faster right there. Like I was like,
Number
I'm gonna
two.
die.
When Harley Quinn kicks some serious ass during Suicide Squad. Again, a movie I have not seen.
If they're gonna if this is what the list is gonna be like, if this is what it's like, it's just these individual scenes.
That's what it's
That's-
called.
No, I'm just saying that's not the best one in that movie. In that horrible movie, there's better scenes with her, and they are all involving her.
She was pretty good in Suicide Squad. Like, even though a lot of people have a issue with sort of some of the way that she the way that she played Harley, I think that she did fine.
She is a good spot in that movie. I think that's really just kind of what they're saying. You know, I don't think they're necessarily labeling a specific scene, but just
she did all the stunts though, which is pretty cool in that scene, like where she gets flipped upside down and like runs up the ceiling or whatever.
Yeah.
Like she did a lot of that, which is it's neat.
All right. Number 3, again, another movie I've not seen yet. The Watchmen from 2009, when the opening montage and origin story of the iconic character stood out from the rest of Watchmen.
I don't think this was a bad movie.
I'm
I don't
there
either.
with
Yeah.
you. I think this
Yeah,
is an
like-
exceptionally good movie. This is an exceptionally good scene in a
Yeah.
very good
Yeah,
movie.
the opening montage is extraordinarily good. Like the way they tie it into world history and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's so enjoyable.
It's really good. But yeah, kind of I remember seeing this and thinking the implication that this was a bad movie really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I feel the same. It's definitely not for everyone. I can say that.
That's true.
Not a bad movie. It's really pretty awesome in most respects. So
All right.
fuck this list.
Fuck this list. All right. Let's see. What is okay, number 4. When Rihanna got the chance to show off her legendary performance skills in Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Missed it.
I made
choice.
it through about halfway of this movie, and
Yep.
I just
Yep.
couldn't like.
I finished it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So
it
I
was
think
not a
I
good
the
movie.
only one who
No.
can answer this question then.
But yeah, I don't even think this scene was all that great either.
No.
Like, I don't think this necessarily was. I mean, it probably was the best scene in the movie, but
Who's the
Nah.
nurse?
That's her. That's Rihanna.
it's still her.
She's a
Oh.
shapeshifter in the movie, and she changes outfits in the middle of the song, which is a neat gimmick. But I'm just like, it's still not a good scene.
This movie is just a pile of garbage. That's an excellent, like, first quote right there.
But Rihanna's dance number is a great piece of entertainment. I mean, I guess.
But Redditor's sock cucker.
All right, here we go. Number 5, when a committed performance made Love Thy Neighbor in the Prom 2020, the best part of a mediocre musical. Missed that one as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
haven't
haven't,
watched that
I
one.
haven't seen that.
Okay, so that is the best number in the show, but it's not that mediocre of a musical. It's actually really fun and enjoyable.
Isn't James Corden in that too? Was he
yeah, and
nominated
he's
for
fucking
it?
hilarious.
Yeah.
This is another one for me. I know you guys haven't seen it, but it's not mediocre. It's actually pretty good for like a stage to screen adaptation. And this Love Thy Neighbor with Andrew Rannells doing is fucking awesome as he's like running through the mall. It's definitely worth a watch.
All right. Well, if you like it, that's good enough for me. All
There
right.
you go.
Number 6, when Paul Rudd's character reaches the height of cringe comedy in Wonderlust. I remember I've seen this movie.
I saw it. I don't remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
I
saw.
don't
I
think
don't
I saw
remember it. It was him and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
You know, I remember
That's how you
being
know
funny,
that sucked.
you know, but yeah, it's forgettable. There you go. How's that? Number 7, when Eddie Murphy and Owen Wilson's characters in I Spy get to know each other while hiding in a sewer. Missed that one as well.
Didn't see
There's
it.
so many things in that description that make me never want to see that movie.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy and Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Right.
All right. Moving on from there. If you've seen these movies, please email us and tell us if you agree.
Wow.
When Ryan Reynolds proved himself as Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine, I did see that. Didn't really know.
He actually was the best part of that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
for the
until
opening,
they fucked up the character.
Yeah, for the opening 15 minutes when he had his mouth open, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, it launched Deadpool. I mean, basically
that's true. We got Deadpool because of
the
tomfoolery that they did there.
So, I mean, if that movie X-Men Origins exists for no other reason, then so be it.
Yeah.
All right. When Gaston, the song, was the best part of Beauty and the Beast, the 2017 live action, something I'm sure Gaston, the character, would be thrilled about. So his musical number is the best part of that movie. I don't know. I think that movie comes down to debate. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it at all. Some people did enjoy it. I don't think there's a huge fan base for it. I think some people just say it's fine or really hated it.
Yeah. I think his character in general was probably one of the more interesting characters adapted from the cartoon anyway, because they gave him more. Like they fleshed out his character in a way that, like, at first you're like, he doesn't seem as douchey as the cartoon one, and then later you find out some really dark shit about him, and you're like, oh, there it is. He is definitely a villain. Like, so I think that his character was really good. The movie's a pile of shit, but his character is good.
I mean, it's no Aladdin. All right. All right. When the protagonist of sci-fi thriller In Time, 2011, was too late to save his mother. Oh, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, it's just the one where they do
I don't remember this movie being that horrible. I don't remember it being that outstanding, but it wasn't like awful. It was fine. It's the one where they can't age past like 27, and then they buy their youth. Like that's their, like they have a currency that buys them youth, and if they can't do it anymore, then they just die.
It's like an ultra dystopian Logan's Run.
Yeah, sort of. And then I think this is him. He had just gotten like enough credits or whatever to re-up her contract to stay alive, and he's like running to her, and then she dies like right before he gets to her, and he falls into her arms. It was a pretty moving scene. I do remember that, but I thought the movie was fine. It wasn't that bad.
All right. Number 11.
Oh my fucking god!
When a ride in an invisible jet through some 4th of July fireworks made for a romantic and touching moment in Wonder Woman 1984.
Nope.
Negative. Sorry,
this was not the scene.
That's not the scene that saved it.
No,
there wasn't one.
Nothing saved it.
Yeah,
but
it's not a standout scene in a sequel that didn't live up to the memorial.
It was a standout. All right. It stood out as probably one of the crappiest scenes in the fucking movie.
That was stupid.
And what Steve shared with Diana about his passion for flying made it a heartwarming scene.
Seeing that poster frame is upsetting me.
Yeah.
Just thinking about like how stupid the scene was. And now I'm even thinking about things I hadn't even thought of before. Like they're in a fighter jet. It goes hundreds of miles per hour. If there was a fireworks display, they'd be through it in half a second. They'd be like, and you wouldn't see any fireworks. Like you'd go so fast.
He kept it in first, buddy. He kept it in first.
It's not how those work.
Glider mode.
And it's not affecting the fireworks at all.
If they don't go fast enough, they crash. So I don't fucking go. I'm so mad.
No. Alex, it's not affecting anything because it's invisible, dumbass.
Oh, I see.
That's right.
I see.
Yeah. I love too how he doesn't have like PTSD from fucking
blowing up in a plane. Living his last moments on Earth in a plane before it explodes. He's like, I'll get another one.
Any of this look familiar, pal?
Doesn't look like anti-aircraft artillery at all.
Yeah, he should have had PTSD in this scene.
I think once he died once, what does it matter?
Wow.
Back. Like, and he legit died. It's not like he died and someone brought him back to CPR. Like, he's not in his own body. He's in like stolen body of.
Yeah, that no one's looking
Wait,
for.
let's get away from this. We're falling into
Nobody's
the
looking
DC
for that
hole. Let's
dude.
get away. Let's get away.
That dude had no connections to anybody anywhere. They're like, Bill who?
Yeah.
Except at the end when he shows up and meets her.
Yeah.
Fucking
God.
A.
Yeah.
All right, see, I told you. What'd I tell you? Fucking told you. There's 2 already from DC. We're not making through this. We just got halfway through.
Well, this one's
When the-
easy.
When the power of Lady Gaga's poker face made the Lotus Casino sequence from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, a lightning thief, just a little bit more bearable.
What the fuck is that title?
It's a book.
Okay.
They're-
Yeah, we watched this early on in the pandemic.
Yep.
And
I believe
can't tell
Disney
you
Plus
if
is
I can't
redoing
tell you
this as a
this was-
series, though.
No, they're redoing the whole lightning thief thing because they aged out.
Yeah.
Like these didn't perform well enough
No,
to justify. Yeah, to justify starting a whole Harry Potter like series. There's like 5 books.
Yeah,
in the series.
they were really expecting this to be kind of like a Harry Potter-ish kind of following, and it did not do well.
Didn't land.
New.
Just that
Had-
still
had
image. I'm
some-
like, no, thanks.
Yeah, the first one was bearable. I'll say that.
But that scene though, this scene with the Lady Gaga and the Lotus thing,
Yeah.
didn't make it any bearable. It only made that section bearable. That's the weakest part of the movie to me.
Alex, did you watch any of these?
No.
Because your girlfriend's in them.
Which one? Percy
Alexa
Jackson?
Daddario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, it's her-
I'll watch
that's-
all
yeah.
of them.
that's her.
She's
right
like, oh,
there.
shit.
Yeah, she's in all of them.
Will you excuse me for a moment? I'll be back.
Please tell me that's on the wheel, sir, and I will be stealing that.
I actually remember liking this scene.
Yeah, Alex, do you want to go ahead and add that to the wheel this week? Is that your? Actually, real quick, I did think of one.
Well, now that I'm safe for
Christy-
at least 3 weeks, maybe I will.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, moving on. Number 13. When the Emoji Movie 2017 made a pun in the opening scene count. Sorry, emotions. Oh, I hate knocking over the elderly. Emoticon. Ah, my colon.
I get it. That's clever.
Yeah. It was the only actual funny line.
In the entire movie?
I like that.
I never saw it.
I didn't
I
see that. I don't know.
actually I don't recall watching this from beginning to end, but I have seen the entire movie because my kids, I remember, were watching this a lot. It's forgettable. It had a lot of voice actors where like I could appreciate the voice actors more and made some of their stuff funnier just because of that. But
We lost David.
oh, he's all later.
Yeah. He's like the
Yeah, he's
Emoji
over this
Movie
shit.
final
That's
straw.
it. That's why I draw the line. All right. He'll join us back here in a second, I'm sure. Number 14. When 2 action sequences stood out from the otherwise disappointing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Wait.
It's the pod racing scene
the
and
pod
the
racing
mall.
and the
And the Duel of
Right.
Fates, yeah.
yeah, that's
I don't know about the pod racing. It was okay.
Yeah, he's
it was
rebooting right now.
no
The action
no,
was good.
in comparison to the rest of the movie is what we're talking about.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
pod
what-
racing was enjoyable enough until Jake Lloyd said words. Like if he was just quiet,
Yeah.
it was fine. But then he's
Yeah, why couldn't Anakin just been a fucking mute?
yeah.
And that's what the helmet does. It also gives him a voice.
Yeah, no, the whole pod racing scene from beginning to end, like it felt like, hey, here's what your video game's going to be like, the first one that comes out for this movie.
Well, to be fair, it's showcasing his ability, his reflexes and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. From a plot perspective, it makes sense that he's the only human who can do it. But
Yeah.
the scene was fine. The Darth Maul scene, however, is exceptional and still the best
Yeah.
lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars. Like they
Yeah.
haven't topped it yet. And the throne room scene from Last Jedi comes very close, but this scene is just so good.
Yeah, it is. It is good. It is unfortunate that they kill off Darth Maul so quickly.
I mean, they don't. keep watching
They
Clone
don't.
Wars.
Well,
Yeah, you
no,
gotta
no,
get through
yeah,
some
no,
Clone
yeah,
Wars
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and then,
Jesus Christ, we're not going down this road either.
Actually, sir.
Excuse me. It is in canon if you will look at. It's like, God damn it.
The Bad Batch starts this week. Be ready for that.
He could potentially be in that, right? Because that's between episodes
Yep.
3 and 4.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
He could
Interesting.
show up.
That'd be cool.
Lost my train of thought. So yeah, in that movie, Phantom Menace, those two scenes, sure. We'll accept that one, I guess.
Yeah, I would totally say that's
Yeah.
those scenes.
other than the scene where he meets Padme, I mean, that scene is fantastic.
Are you an angel? They told me about them on the moons of whatever the fuck.
Have you ever seen the Robot Chicken when they redo that scene? And it's
Yes.
Palpatine like doing the voiceover as far as here is the future Darth Vader, and they start saying that. He's like, wait, what? Okay.
Those robot chickens are so good.
Oh my god, that's the best. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Sorry, David, you missed a good one.
Yeah.
The Star Wars,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duel of
Yeah.
Fates. Those were pretty much the only good parts of those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. All right. In Shallow Hal, when Hal, a man hypnotized into seeing a person's inner beauty as their physical appearance, realizes after he wakes up that the children he was playing with earlier are residents of a pediatric burn unit.
That just sounds dark as fuck.
Well, first of all, Shallow Hal, in my opinion, it's one of the Fairly Brother films. Not the most well-known or well received. I thought it was funny for what it was.
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
It doesn't age well. It doesn't age well. But
No.
I haven't seen it recently. Yeah, that's true.
I thought it was good. I thought it was funny. I don't think that's the best scene out of the whole thing, but like, yeah, when it comes to understand how he's seeing people, you know, that's, again, it wasn't a bad movie. So,
Oh God.
16. I think Pete, you can chime in on this one. When
Yeah.
Bella jumped off a cliff in order to feel closer to Edward in the Twilight Saga New Moon.
Even
Nope,
the
that
dialogue
entire
in
that entire movie was extra shit, and this actually was the worst part of the movie.
Okay.
You heard it here first, folks.
This
he
is
said
when
with
she's
passion.
like extra fucking emo and decides to go see her sparkly vampire boyfriend. She's got to jump off a cliff into the freezing water. It's
Why?
so stupid.
Why does she
We don't-
do
we
that?
don't
Why
want
does she
to
have
Because
to
he
do that?
wanted her to be more human. Watch her.
Because
right there in the
she
dialogue.
wanted to feel what it was like to be
You
cold
wanted
like
me to
him.
be
And
human, watch me.
Wait, isn't she human? I don't understand
she
that
is
quote.
at this point.
So then you
Oh.
wanted me to be human, but she is human. So I don't
I
understand.
think she's basically saying I'm acting like a human.
Okay, yeah. Well, at this point in the series,
I'm upset.
they're discussing turning her.
I don't think we need to break this down any further.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just move on, because there's another
Good
Twilight
call.
scene in here that I get to talk about. So
Why don't we go ahead and watch it real quick just to get caught up? All right.
no, please no.
When Jason Bateman's character in Horrible Bosses got caught in an obvious lie, you were drag racing in the prince. Well, Horrible Bosses I think it's funny. I mean,
It's
it's not,
hilarious.
I
The
know.
first one's pretty good.
yeah. So
Charlie Day's fucking nuts in this movie.
yeah,
He's just Charlie Day, man.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
always like that.
True.
I mean, I almost actually I want to watch that one. Hold on.
Throw it up. This is funny.
Explain why you were doing 61 in a 25 zone. 1 block from the victim's house. Just moments after he got shot dead.
I was drag racing. I'm a drag racer.
You were drag racing in a Prius.
I don't win a lot.
Here's what I don't understand. You were at the crime scene. Hour later, we find the...
That's
I
great.
love the way Ron White
He's
delivers that
fucking-
line.
He's so good at that, though.
Bateman. Ah, so funny. Yeah, whoever put that on this list, thank you, but fuck you. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
An American Assassin, and I haven't seen this. When Dylan O'Brien's Mitch fought off attackers in an intense and well choreographed fight sequence.
Has anyone seen this?
No.
Moving on.
Nope. Moving on. Number 19. When a little bit of body swapping in The Hot Chick didn't stop the main character from sharing a heartwarming moment with her brother. Did not see this. Anybody?
The movie was trash.
I feel like I saw this, but I can't recall a single second of it.
No, just move on.
Probably for good reason.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're almost there. 20. When Michelle Pfeiffer performed Cool Rider and became the most memorable part of Grease 2. It's probably one of the most memorable songs from the movie.
Yeah.
The movie is trash.
Yeah.
But it also, for me, I like it because of the memories it brings up for me when I watch it. Just knowing that it's trash, but at the time when I did see it, liking it kind of thing, where it's like I liked it as a kid kind of situation, but somehow I can still appreciate it. But yeah, it's garbage. But for sure, that is probably that would be the most memorable part of that movie. And actually, that was her first movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's interesting. It's so ridiculous to consider that this is supposed to be the next year after Grease.
Yeah.
Given how much has changed, just like, okay. All right. And let's see. Number 21.
They tied DC. They tied DC.
Oh my God. That's a hell of a still shot. And finally, when Bella and the Cullens played baseball in Twilight and secured their place in meme history.
So I don't understand why. I get that it's unintentionally hilarious because of how bad it is. This is not. I have seen this movie, and it's awful. The scene is the worst scene in the whole thing. They're like flying through the air, catching baseballs and shit. It's absolutely horrific.
Yeah, they time their ability to pitch and hit to the lightning and thunder strikes. Like it's.
I don't remember it that vividly. I just remember watching it and being like, "What the fuck?"
No. Oh no.
Yeah, I saw this.
Let's here, take a gander here.
Oh God.
Since when do vampires like baseball?
Well, it's the American pastime. And
and the fucking baseball uniforms they wear. Jesus.
Are they like old school, like ancient?
A couple of them, yeah. It's just fucking stupid. Like you're like, what?
This is like a baseball league. This is like
no. This is just the Cullen family. It's this like vampire coven is going to go play baseball because there's a storm coming, so they can, with their immense power, play because people won't be suspicious.
Calm as you see him, Bella.
People won't be out in the storm.
The music.
Sweet music, right? Yeah.
So this is the best scene of the whole movie.
No.
Well, that's what they're claiming.
Incorrect.
No.
Oh, she doesn't even.
Whoa.
Okay, now I see why you need the thunder. Home run, right?
Wow.
Oh, I can't wait for somebody to get this series. And I hope it's not me, only because I've seen him, so it won't be painful for me.
Dude.
I have seen these movies, but I don't remember any of this crap because I made a point to.
You're out.
So why is she so slow? She can run 9 million miles away.
So each of them has a slightly different physical attribute, and Edward Cullen is incredibly strong and fast.
Oh,
They just called the shot.
Peter.
Yep. Oh, Elizabeth Reeser's in this. Anna Kendrick's in this.
Oh my God. This is the best scene of this movie.
This is gonna play well for the YouTube crowd, but for the people listening on the podcast,
Yeah,
true.
What
That's
the
true.
hell is going on?
Yeah, sorry, listeners.
They just tried
you
to
know what,
go
we'll put it-
catch, and two of them like slammed into each other in midair.
We'll put a link.
Now
in
they're
the- in the
running
show
and
notes.
jumping off of trees.
Yeah. All right.
We can stop
well,
it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's
No,
enough
I
of
can't.
that.
I can't wait for somebody to fucking pull that on the wheel.
It's
It'll
on
probably
there.
be
Yeah,
me
I know,
next
I know for a
week.
fact.
If it's me, I might actually vomit.
Oh. The first one is like super bad, but you can get through it.
Yeah, I
Because
got
it's
through
at least-
it.
It's
but
at least
still
filmed
horrible.
well. It's
Judging by
the
that
next-
scene, no, it is not.
Yeah.
No, compared to the next ones that you watch that are just so bad you can't get through them. And then it does the last one, just because of the kind of giant vampire battle at the end of it, and Bella becoming a vampire. The last one is actually the best
Whoa!
one of the
Spoiler
entire
alert,
series.
asshole!
I know you really care.
I've seen
Yeah.
the movies. I don't even know what he's talking about. I do know that at some point they end up in like Italy or some shit like that. With
Yes.
some like ancient vampires.
That's where the
That's-
Volturi, the vampire, kind of like their like
Jesus
vampire
Christ.
government
Does
lives.
Pete have the
Question.
That's
compendium in front of
Spider-Man
him right
Far
now?
From Home.
Question:
Yes.
how the fuck do they travel to Europe and not get noticed?
Okay, so
I'm just kidding. I don't care.
Yeah, no, stop. Don't do that.
now this
do
is
that.
I just can't wait for this.
He
to
pulls
come
out
up
like a
on
little book and he's like, "Well, I have the answer right here."
No.
Yeah, it's
it
funny
really-
you should ask.
I love that Pete has like a knowledge level of these films that like rivals Opie's knowledge level of the
Of anything. Fucking anything.
But for the record, he still hasn't watched Avatar.
Yeah, I can't make time for that. Breaking what? Who? Who's that? Why is everybody talking about Bryan Cranston? What the fuck has he ever done?
I mean, he was all right in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, I mean, he's funny.
Yeah.
Was it like, how funny could the dude be? Breaking Bad didn't even sound like a funny title. All right, well, I guess that's about it. Thanks, BuzzFeed. That was I don't know. I how many of those out of 21? There's what, maybe 5 that we hadn't seen that we just passed through, and the rest were.
I think as far as like all of us not seeing it, I think there was only maybe 2 or 3, but
Yeah,
a lot of
there
them,
weren't
like
very
only
many.
one of us had seen it, or
Yeah.
maybe 2.
So, so the rest of them were, I don't know, 50-50 as far as whether they're bad movies or not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, those lists are compiled from a bunch of Reddit conversations and
Yeah.
Yeah.
just thrown
Yeah.
up, and sometimes they're spot on, and sometimes you're like, what the fuck? And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one was kind of a mixed bag. There was some stuff in there, and you're like, yeah, okay. And other stuff where you're like, ooh, gee, no.
And who are these? Yeah, so some of these I look at and I'm like, this is so stupid, but then some are like, oh, this could be fun. Cool. Well, I guess that's our show for this week. Again, next week we will probably have some more on some of the more recent television offerings as things are launching.
The Bad Batch will be out next week.
So somebody on here, I imagine, will have watched that because I know it will not be this guy. And
the other 4 squares probably though.
yeah, I imagine one of it, maybe. If not, who cares? And then let's see. Maybe I should probably get through Godfather. I could maybe hopefully get through the Godfather Part 3 by then. And then I could spin the wheel and you cannot steal it from me, Alex.
I'm satisfied. I feel bad, but I'm satisfied with my steal.
Yeah. You'll see. All right. Anything else before we go? No?
I'm gonna miss
Good.
my background.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's just gonna be a bunch
saying
of
the same
fucking
about
monkeys
mine.
back there.
Yeah.
Maybe you get them in bikinis too.
Yeah, you can find one that kind of just superimpose monkey faces from like the first round of Planet of the Apes.
There you go.
On their heads. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. And guess talk to you next week.
there's an anime called Serial Killer or something like that.
Yeah. A friend of mine was talking about that.
I've seen people talking good stuff about that. There's no way I'm getting anyone in my family to watch that with me.
I guess if you're a fan of anime, it could probably be good.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of anime, but at this point, like, just a reason to go see something at the theater, I might go see it anyways. So,
I don't need to go to the theater that bad.
Oh man,
I have never gotten anime. I can never wrap my head around the.
Like some of it.
Well, the thing with anime is you got to find the one that's in the genre that you're interested in, right? Because there's a ton, right? Like technically, Transformers and Voltron were anime or close to it when they started.
Speed Racer, yeah,
similar.
You know, I watched that as a kid, but
I mean, there's everything. There's horror anime. You got,
I'm just not
cyberpunk
interested
anime.
I'm not a fan of the art of the animation itself.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of animation anymore. I used to watch it no problem. Nowadays, I just go meh, and I just don't find it interesting. I tried to go back and watch stuff that I loved from college, like Cowboy Bebop, and well, it's still pretty cool. It didn't do it for me anymore.
Doesn't hold up as much.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to watch that because it's similar in tone to like Firefly, isn't it? Isn't that one of the things they based the Firefly off of?
It's a really cool show. It's got a style to it that is super unique. It flows really well. There's a kind of a caper of the week kind of thing, but then they're also through episodes that move it along. And I think it's like 25 episodes long. It's not super long.
No, they're making a live action though, aren't they?
I think so.
Yes.
But the characters are super cool. And they're featured. Some are featured more heavily than others in various episodes, and certain episodes, because they feature a certain character, are just better than other episodes. But I don't know. It's a good show. I liked it. I tried to get my daughter to watch it, but even I wasn't even super thrilled to watch it at that point.
Cowboy Bebop was good. I like that. I tried to get into Trigun and a couple of others from that era, and I couldn't do it. Samurai 7 or 7 Samurai was really good.
Yes. Samurai Champloo?
No.
It's I didn't see their.
It's got what's his bucket? Motherfucker.
Get him out
Sam
now.
Jackson?
Yeah, Sam Jackson as the as one of the main characters.
Oh, no, I never saw that.
It's kind of cool.
Oh, I've always heard Afro Samurai was really good too. I haven't watched that one.
Afro Samurai was cool, but Afro Samurai kind of became like the same after like 3 or 4 episodes.